Good morning students, we are already discussed about the chromatography and its basic principles and the types of chromatography and the main important topic paper chromatography also. Okay, so now I am going to start the next topic that is called thin layer chromatography. Here thin layer means preparing or preparation of a substance within a thin measurement, that is called thin layer chromatography. So before going to the lesson we have to know what is the principle of TLC. So it is based on the principle of adsorption. So adsorption means the attachment of substance with the substratum is called adsorption, and the partition chromatography also. So basing upon the substance which we will separate, basing upon that we will use the adsorption or partition chromatography. If the substance is very high affinity towards the stationary phase, it travels very slower. Okay, if the component is less affinity towards stationary phase, it travels very faster. Okay, then when the chromatography is used is if the substance which want to separate by us, if it is non-volatile or low volatility, we will use the TLC. Okay, so or if the substance will not be separated by the liquid chromatography or gas chromatography, that substances can be separated in the thin layer chromatography, and it do not require any electrical power. Okay, so first before we have to going to that, we have to know what is mean by stationary phase and mobile phase. I think I already explained about stationary and mobile phase in the before class, and once again I repeat it in this class. Okay, so for stationary phase, so stationary phase means the phase which is transmitted by some other substance, that is called as stationary phase. It do not move any side, but from this some substances can be moved, that is called stationary phase. Okay, then next mobile phase means the phase which is moved from downwards to upwards, that is called as mobile phase. Here mobile means movement of substance from one place to another phase. Okay, so first we have to prepare or select the stationary phase. So selection of stationary phase is most important for separation of any substance. Okay, and it is also very difficult. Okay, so for this we have to take a particular surface, having particular surface, and it is the most important task for separating of different molecules. Okay, so basing upon this particle size which we separate and their morphology, we have to select the stationary phase. Okay, then preparation of plates. So the stationary phase is made up of the glass plates. Okay, the glass plates or flexible plates are commonly used for absorbent. It's a size ranging from 20 into 25 centimeters or 20 into 10 centimeters. Okay, the surface should be flat without irregularities, that means it should not have any cracks. Okay, without any up and downs, it should be very flat and very keen. Okay, so the standard film thickness is 250 mu m. Okay, the next for the application of absorbent, so actually we take first glass. Okay, that is the standard form. So for this we have to apply absorbent. Okay, so the absorbent can be prepared by using 4 steps. The first one is pouring, second one is dipping, third one is spraying, and the fourth one is spreading. Okay, so first pouring means if we have to take the glass plate and pour the absorbent. Okay, first adsorbent is prepared with the silica gel. First we have to take a water and boil it, and then add the silica gel and stir it constantly and make it a slurry. Okay, that should be poured. Okay, The next one is dipping. So taking the some filters or taking some syringes, we have to take the gel and dip in the tray. Okay, the next one is spraying. So by using the sprayers also we will apply the absorbent to the glass. The next one is spreading. Okay, taking the slurry and making them thin film and add it to the glass plate. Okay, these are the 4 steps we have to apply for that. Okay, next is activation of plates. What we prepared before that can be activated by using the temperature of 100 degrees centigrade for 30 minutes. Okay, so the plate will be first dried at the temperature of 100 degrees centigrade for 30 minutes. Okay, then by removing the liquids associated with layer, completely the absorbent layer is activated. Okay, then we have to do the sampling for the separation of amino acids. Okay, so we have to take amino acids or proteins, that's not a matter. So we have to take anything. Okay, so first we already prepared the tin plate. Okay, then we have to do sampling. So for the sampling, for example, we will take the amino acids like alanine, valine, cysteine and glycine. Okay, so these 4 samples can be encircled in the plate with 1 centimeters of distance with the scale. Okay, then we will spot it and wait for few minutes, and this TLC plate is put on the solvent, and that means mobile phase. Okay, then plate development. So one dimensional development and the next one is multiple development. So first one single development, and that means it will be done only one side, that may be vertical side or horizontal way, or horizontal in opposite directions, or circular and anti-circular. Okay, so any one position will be done. Okay, the next one is multiple development. So that means separate runs over the same migration distance. Okay, stepwise increasing or stepwise decreasing. So these 2 dimensionally the layer will be developed. Okay, the next, visualize the spots. Okay, so if there any colored spots, circle them lightly with the pencil. Okay, so if there is no color substance, then we visualize under the UV lamp. So by holding the UV lamp over the plate, the circles any spots you see. Okay, make sure you are wearing your goggles and do not look directly into the lamp. Protect your skin by wearing gloves. Okay, so next, TLC development chamber. So the chamber may be, okay, in the before classes I already said about paper chromatography. In that I say about ascending chromatography and descending chromatography. Okay, likewise here also we have 3 types: ascending development, descending development and horizontal development. Okay, then here we observed about the vertical development. Here this is the plate which is placed in the mobile phase. So we having solvent system, dry layer, solvent front, support, aluminum foil. Okay, mobile phase and stationary phase. Here what happened? The mobile phase is moving towards the glass plate from downwards to upwards direction. Okay, so this is the arrangement of this TLC technique. Okay, so for this we also do vertically and horizontally also. Okay, so the applications of TLC. Okay, it is used for the separation of natural products and is established an analytical tool in modern pharmacopoeias. So acids, alcohols, glycols, alkaloids, amines, these are assessed by TLC, and also some macromolecules like amino acids, proteins, peptides, and also we can observe the chlorophyll also under the TLC. Okay, so it is also used for the checking of purity of some samples and purification process, examination of some reactions for identify organic compounds. So it is extensively used in checking processes for distillation factories or fractions, which is done in the laboratories. Okay, so then not only that applications, we also have another application, that means pharmaceuticals and drugs. So identification, purity testing and determination of different types of substances, and we also observe drugs and drugs preparations by using the TLC. Okay, the next application is clinical chemistry or forensic chemistry and biochemistry. So determination of active substances and their metabolic activities can be observed by using thin layer chromatography. Okay, so next one, cosmology. So by using what we are using some type of beauty products, that can be also observed by TLC if there is a contamination, and how much of fats and surfactants are present in that substances can be observed in the TLC. Okay, next one is food analysis. So the pesticides and the fungicides in drinking water or in the some drinks or in the some juices, that can be also analyzed by TLC. The next one is environmental analysis. Groundwater analysis and the pollutants what are present in the environment can also be studied by using TLC. Okay, the next one is analysis of inorganic substances. So the determination of inorganic ions also can be studied by using thin layer chromatography. Okay, this is about the thin layer chromatography. The next topic is gel filtration chromatography. Okay, so for the gel filtration chromatography, it is mainly based upon the principle of some poured or packed substances. So actually it will take some elutions. That means if we take the glass beads, that glass beads can observe the substance which we going to separate. Here see the picture of this. So here this is the column, then these are the beads which are prepared by us, then this is void volume VO. So VO means the void volume. Okay, so that means what the outer surface is present. Okay, the next one is total volume VT. We will represent it as VT. So that means the substance having both inner and outer substance together, called it as VT. Okay, so this is the chamber. So first what we will do is we have to prepare the gel beads. So these gel beads are prepared by using silica gel. Okay, so these silica gel beads are prepared by using silica gel. It is making a slurry and placed upon the water. So before going to dipping in the water, we have to maintain it for 1/2 night. Okay, then we have to place it in water and it will be like round beads. So that beads are inserted in these columns. Then we have to take some of the materials what we are going to separate. For example, if we take proteins, so these proteins can be separated. Here look at this picture. So first we used some gel beads and upper colored, blue colored substances. You think blue color substances are some amino acids or proteins. Okay, then we pour it on the mobile phase. So first beads are the stationary phase and these amino acids are the mobile phase. So here look at this picture, second picture. So here these colored substances, that means amino acids or proteins what we are going to separate, that are moving inside the beads. Okay, the next see the third diagram. Here the colored substance, that means amino acids, so they are in different distances. That means the small substances are eluting first and the larger substances are become on the upper side of the gel column. Okay, so this is the process. So here we have some exclusion limits. So for the preparation of gel we can use Sephardox having the 30,000 daltons of molecular weight. Okay, so then next fraction range Sephardox we can use G50 is used as the fraction range. Okay, so here water regaining value, these also are also the main basic principles of going for the gel filtration chromatography. So first we have to select the gel and we have to prepare the gel. I already said how the gel will be produced. Okay, so that means we have to be 72 hours before we have to maintain to boil and make it to slurry, and then it is agarogels are prepared in the hydrated state. Okay, so there is no need for swelling. Okay, this is the process of preparation of gel beads. Then next process is column size. The column size is between 50 centimeters long are sufficient. Okay, so this is the process of taking the column. Okay, it is the width of 25 to 100 also we have to take. Width is 25 centimeters and the length is 50 centimeters long is sufficient for this. Okay, then next eluting buffer. That means we have to use the buffer capacity of pH 4 to 10. Okay, the next sample volume. So 10 to 25% of the column total and light the greatly diluted for group separation. Okay, so this is the process of taking the sample into the column. Okay, so for taking this sample column we have the column flow rate. Okay, so basing upon taking the column volume, so the column flow rate is also based upon this. Okay, so cross sectional bed area per hour is 15 to 25 ml per hour. Okay, that much of time it will take for flow rate. Okay, the next, what the gel beads are used. So I already said about Sephardox and different types of biogels. In the biogel we have P2, P6, P600 and Sephardox and Sepharos. These different types of gels are used for preparation of the gel beads. Okay, so isoelectric points of several common proteins. So if we wanted to separate the proteins, we can use these different types of proteins by having their isoelectric point of this much. If we use the pepsin, it should be have the one isoelectric point. Okay, if we use Vovalpin, it should having 4.6 isoelectric point. Then if we use insulin, it have 5.4 isoelectric point. If we use collagen, it should have 6.6 isoelectric point. So this is the basic things we have to maintain for correct information or correct reading should be studied by gel filtration chromatography. Okay, this having different type of applications. For that we have that different types of analyzers. We have the different matter of getting something. So desalting is one of the process is used for the separation of salts from the substance which we have. If we take a substance, if the substance have a salt, that salt can be taken out by using gel filtration chromatography. Okay, this is also used for the separation of amino acids and it is also used for the separation of proteins and it is also used for the separation of different types of substances. So this is the main thing that we have to know about applications of paper chromatography and that means gel filtration Actually, we have different types of advantages for this. Is that we don't want to use any temperature or any electrical power, so it will take very less time and it is very cheaply available, and it is not interacted with any other substances, and it will also not based upon any interaction, that may be positive negative charges, that may not be depend upon all those things. So this is only depend upon the size of the molecule. So because of this, it is also called as size exclusion chromatography. Okay, next topic is column chromatography. It was first discovered by Michael Sweat in 1909, who watched an organic solution of plant pigments through a vertical glass column packed within a absorptive material. He discovered the plant pigments are separated into bands on and also different colors by dividing the regions entirely free of colors. Okay, the next one, column chromatography. Observe the picture. So here the glass column is made up of, maybe it is prepared by glass or plastic, it having both stationary phase and mobile phase. At the bottom of the column we have cotton plug also. When we start flowing the solvent, we will remove the cotton plug. So here output. So here by using solvent which we are going to separate the substances like amino acids or proteins, that will be eluted fastly. That eluted material can be taken out by using output. Here input is the substances which are going to separate, that may be amino acids or proteins, or we will use the different types of color pigments. Okay, so we have both the stationary phase and the mobile phase also. So next one is classification of column chromatography. So here we use or classify different types of column chromatographies based upon the solvent flow. So here we have two types. The first one is gravity column chromatography. If the solvent is allowed to flow down by using gravity, okay, if we use the gravity, we can call it as gravity column chromatography. The next one is flash chromatography. If we use positive air pressure for the movement of solvent, it is called as flash chromatography. So here we will use it both on biochemistry, biotechnology, and also organic chemistry research laboratories. Okay, so here the next one is principle. So here solid stationary phase and liquid mobile phases are used. So here the principle of column chromatography is absorption chromatography, is usually carried out by burette columns with the absorbent. A mixture of substances to be separated is applied in a solvent of low polarity, so that the solvent passes into the column and does not compete with the mixture for the absorbent site. So here the solvent is pure substances appear first, followed by the impurities. Okay, so here it containing gradually increased impurity, so that the pure most solvent appears on the top and the impure most solvents at the bottom of the column. The selective absorptive variables rate of absorption of different substances with an absorbent. This is the principle of the column chromatography. Okay, so the process is continued. As a result, the materials are partially separated and absorbed the various parts of the column. The type of interactions between the stationary phase is reversible in the nature. Okay, the next is what we required for the column chromatography. So first we want the column. Okay, and we have also different types of methods like absorbent, packing column, wet packing, solvents used, application of sample, identification and separation of compounds, recovery of the components, and detection of the components. Okay, so first we have to know what is the packing the column, how we will pack the column. Okay, the column is fitted the upright position and the bottom is sealed with the glass woolen plug or with the cotton plug. The column is however with mobile phase absorbent having 1/3 position thirds of its height. A thick slurry is prepared by using gel or resins gently poured into the column with its outlet is closed. The upper part of the column is always stirred to ensure even packing and avoid air bubbles. The outlet is now open and the column is stabilized with washing with the mobile phase. So for this we have to use a filter paper disc and nylon gauge is then placed on the surface of the column to prevent disturbances during sample addition. Okay, to prevent the column from drying, a layer of solvent is always maintained above the column surface. Okay, so we have dry and wet columns. Okay, so that means packing. So we are going to add some of the layers, do not be going to drying the column. Okay, so next we have to introduce the sample by sucking the top layer the solvent out and then carefully pipetting the sample on the column surface. The sample is allowed to just run into it. The solvent is then added to the column to a height. Okay, so then we have to of height of 5 to 10 centimeters. The column is connected to a suitable reservoir which contains more solvent so that the height of the solvent in the column can be maintained to a height of 5 to 10 centimeters. The bands are formed in the column. Okay, in separate different color bands are observed or band wisely we will observe in the column. Okay, next one. Also before going to applications we have some detections. Okay, so here bromophenol blue can be used as a dye. Okay, so these bands are separated by using detection by adding some of the colors. Okay, bromophenol blue can be used as a dye to stain the bands of the substances. The effluents releases from the column outlet can be analyzed by ultraviolet absorption. So here color or fluorescence or by radioactive labeling we can observe the bands having which type of amino acids or proteins can be observed. Okay, the next one is applications. So applications means separation of compounds. Here we can separate different types of compounds like amino acids and different types of proteins, and we can also remove or separate impurities or purification process. That means we can separate the impurities from the purified forms. Okay, so it is also used for the analysis of proteins and also chlorophyll, and we can also separate different types of sugars. Okay, so and it is also used for the isolation of active constituents and isolation of metabolites from biological fluids, estimation of different drugs for the formulation of different drugs extracts and which will be applied, and this also applied in the both the biochemistry and biotechnical laboratories, and also it is used in the organic laboratories also. Okay, thank you.